Hey guys, it's Bhav from Bhav Creates Art. I hope you're all well. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In last week's video, in the last video, shall I say, we actually did a punched out a stamp punch book page. So let's just show you the one that we did. So we did, I showed you. So this is the one we did in the last video. So we used the stamp punch to actually stamp these images out from the Gardener's World magazine, and then we did a little bit of harvesting because I was somewhat short on the images as well. So we added onto this page, we added the florals, the botanicals, and we added some birds onto the page as well. So that's what we did in the last video. And then the one which I didn't actually film was, so this was the one that I did punched out in a vertical format, and this particular page I created off video. So this was, or off camera shall I say, so this was actually punched out horizontally because I wanted to try a different format as well. And I have some more ideas, so I'm going to be using other punches to actually punch out some images. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. So this is a fantastic book which I showed you. It's a sketchbook and it's 100 GSM, which I got from a place in the UK because I'm UK based, called Poundland, and this is only £1, literally £1. So I think it's got 60 pages. I did mention it, and I think it's 100 GSM. So yeah, definitely. So if you're based in the UK and you want to do something small, and if you've got a stamp punch, or if you haven't, you just got some scissors, then you can just cut either some squares out basically, and then add the images to this book. And you know, it looks really cool. They do look like stamps at the end of the day. All you need is a actually stamp on for the images to be stamped on using perhaps an actual ink stamp. But I really like this, doing this particular glue book. So this is the glue book which I'm going to be using to actually put the cutout images onto, and it's nice and small, so easy, so easy to create, and you can do it in, you know, within half an hour really, if you've got images cut out already, or perhaps even if you haven't, because we did a bit of a magazine harvesting as well in that video. Anyway, so that's that. So we did that in the last video, so do go pop across and watch that video. I'll add the link to that video in this video for you to have a look. And if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to my channel to receive further notifications on future videos. So as I keep saying, I've got plenty of new projects coming up, and this particular channel is about collaging and glue booking, and it's also going to be a mixed media channel as well. So yeah, so do definitely subscribe. And you know, like I said, and I keep saying, I'm trying to build a community of people where we can chat and just chill and relax, and glue booking, collaging is a perfect way of doing that. You can just, you know, give me some tips, advice, and you know, let me know what you'd like to see in future videos. And also, you know, share, if you want to, information about yourselves, like what do you do in your free time, where you're from, you know, the kind of magazines you can get access to in where you live. So you might not be UK based, and it's nice to kind of see magazines from different countries as well, to see what images they've got in there. So, and yeah, I just hope you join me in this journey. Anyway, so this particular video, we're not going through magazines, but we are going through the harvesting of images which I actually got from the magazines. So these magazines came from, I think it was Gardener's World, and it was probably, yeah, it was the Gardener's World magazine actually. So I got these images from there, and we're going to just kind of go through the actual pages which I pulled out of those magazines, and start actually, you know, potentially we could do a bit of fussy cutting if we've got time, but I think the plan is to really kind of go through the images and, you know, cut the images out, and then I can do a bit of fussy cutting perhaps in another video, or I can do it, you know, in my own time and show you what I've managed to fussy cut out. So these are some of the images I've already pulled out. So I'll be fussy cutting this pot, and I know what kind of images I'm looking for. So I've not been doing this for such a long time in terms of like magazine harvesting side of things, but I am enjoying the process so far. I'm actually really enjoying it, as I've mentioned previously as well. It's fantastic, and I can't stop harvesting images as well. And on top of that, I've managed to actually accrue so many free magazines off Facebook Marketplace, and they've all been free as well. So yeah, I will take you some. I will do another magazine harvest video on, and it'll be based on a different subject matter. So I think it is based on the astrology, so it's called The New Scientist magazine, and I managed to get 100 of those for free, not too far away from where I live, in fact. So that was fantastic as well. So I'll show you what they look like, what kind of content and images they've got. So if you're not UK based and you can't get access to it, at least you know what kind of images we've got here. And then I was thinking of putting some packs together for people to send out. So I might do some kind of, I don't know, I'll have to think about it, but I will be, you know, putting some packs together for people to access, because it will be nice for yourselves, if you're not based in the UK and you can't get access to these magazines, to have, you know, what I have access to. Anyway, so let's crack on. So I've already shown you, so I've pulled out this image and I've already cut it out of the page using my slicer, and I've got these ones too, literally just cut out. So I'll be doing that, and then there's fantastic images. And as I said, I know what images I'm looking for. So I've got approximately 5 glue books on the go, which I know is crazy, right? But you'll be seeing, you know, the pages being created in those glue books as well. And obviously I'll be doing some behind the scenes as well. Otherwise I'll just be forever collecting images and not doing anything with them. But yeah, so I've pulled this one out because because I'm looking out for words as well, to use onto my pages. So exquisite exotics, I love that. So I'll be cutting that out, for example. So let's do that. So I'll be using my Fiskars paper cutter to do that. I'm just going to zoom you out a little while. So let's get that in sharp, and I'll show you the images as I'm actually taking things away from the pages. Right, so I'm going to be taking this. So I thought this video would be good just to kind of have a little bit of a catch up and to show you kind of like the process that I go through. I'm thinking I do want that image there. And yeah, it's really just a kind of a little bit of a catch-up video. So you kind of, you know, get to find out what kind of images I'm cutting out and for what purpose. Now, sometimes it could be an image which can be used for many different glue books. So for example, this word could be used in a purple, in a coloured glue book on the purple page. So the word exquisite exotics can go on a purple page in a coloured glue book, for example, or I could just use it on a different page altogether. I could use, I'm going to grab this image as well, so I don't need this, so this will go in the bin, and I'll grab this. Now, you don't need to grab every single image, because, you know, you could be there forever. So you will, and as I have been doing, get better at selecting images out. I have become very kind of clear in my mind as to what images I do want now. So I'll put that to one side, and the images that I really, so I know what I'm looking for because I know which glue books I'm going to be actually gluing them onto, or gluing them inside. So does that make sense? So I wanted this image here. There's nothing else, and always look on the back. So you've got some stunning images on the back as well. So I know I want this image, and if I flipped it over, I'm going to be getting rid of this. Okay, so I'm just going to grab, well, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to slice it this way around, so that way you know which way to slice it. Okay, sorry about the noise of the paper cutter. So I got this Fiskars paper cutter some time ago, and it came with, I think it came with 1 blade or 2 blades, and it's really good cutter actually. It does a great job actually. I've got others as well. So there you go. I've got that image already, which I can use. I can either cut out the butterfly, to use onto a glue book page, or again another purple. If it's a coloured glue book page, I could use a purple butterfly, right, alongside the Exquisite Exotics. Is it blue or purple? It's kind of like a blue purple, isn't it? But you could, you know, it's just a tone of purple, I guess, or blue. So yeah, does that make sense? Haha. Right, so I'm going to grab this beautiful rose. I'm not sure if you can see that, so I'm going to grab this rose. So before you throw it or disregard any of your leftover scraps, just have a look, because you might actually see something that you like. And I've done that several times where I'm just about to throw the piece away and then I think, hold on a second, there's a word or there's a font that I really enjoy here, so I'm going to hold on to it. So yeah, so this video will probably not be that long. We'll see how we get on. I could use that image there potentially. I'm not too bothered about this bit, but I could definitely use that image there to use, and I could use a circle hole punch or just cut around it, fussy cut around that as well. Okay, so so this was the other half of that page, which I just sliced into, and I really love these flowers here, look like giant daisies. So I will be cutting that out, and I'm not too bothered about the fact that there are words on the image, because I can always cover that text up, that text box up. So look at that, isn't that beautiful? I love it, I love it. Nothing on the back of that, hold on to that. So it looks like there's a lot of images for my Secret Garden glue book page, and if you don't know what that is, do I want any of this? I don't think I do actually. If you don't know what that is, it's literally, it's got flowers in there, it's got birds in there. I've added a door or windows to it, and I do have, do I want this? I do want the Secret Garden book page to be a little bit more magical. So I'm just adding different elements in there, and I do have, is what I was trying to say, 2 pages already kind of put together. So I've actually kind of got the pieces for those 2 pages, and I'll be creating those on camera so you can see the process and you can see the images as well. There's not much going on there, but hey ho. So let's have a look. So I love this chap here, and I want to use the bird feeder for my Secret Garden page, so I'm grabbing that. So make sure I'm not throwing anything away. So I'll grab both elements there. So with this one, I'll potentially cut out the bird feeder with the bird, and then I'll cut this little guy out, the squirrel. You can see him on his own as well, but I don't need this little top bit here, so I'll fussy cut those later. Then on this page, you've got some tiny birds on there. Can you see those tiny birds? So they'll be quite good to use to fussy cut those out, or you can use your small hole punches if you've got one. So I'm gonna take those, right? Let's take those. I don't think I've got a hole punch that small actually, so I will be doing some fussy cutting. I know. People don't always enjoy fussy cutting. I don't mind it. When I'm in a flow of cutting the images, I'm in a flow, so it doesn't bother me. So yeah, I'll have to cut those out, right? Okay, so we might do those together on camera in another video, that is. So I'm going to use this page. I'm going to keep this page because I use blocks of colour for backgrounds in my glue book pages. So I'll hold on to that. And then once I've kind of gone through this part, what I'll do off camera is sort them into, oh, this is beautiful, isn't it, right? So I'm just going to cut into that. So I'll be sorting them into categories or piles. So again, this one's a great kind of block of colour to use. So let's use that. It's a nice shade of green actually. So yeah, so how is everybody? I hope you're all keeping well. How's the weather where you are? Like I said, I'm based in the UK. The weather is it's kind of dark and dreary today compared to yesterday, which was forecasted rain and also forecast to be dark and dreary. But it was a really nice day yesterday compared to today. I love that image, so I'll be fussy cutting that image to yours. Will I? Yes, I will. So let's do that. Block a colour and then fussy cutting that image. So they're quite easy to cut out because you're just going around the perimeter. Excuse me while I sip away at my coffee. It's funny, isn't it? Because like what you get addicted to over a certain period of time. So I'm addicted to my Costa coffees right now. I'm just looking for words, by the way. He's holding I like that, so I'm going to cut around that. I mean, that wasn't my intention when I tore out the page. What's anything else? So yeah, so since, I think it's since last year, my dad was in hospital and and he was in there for some time. He had heart issues. You know, it was long days actually, and he wasn't in a local hospital, so we had to travel. So I could use that in a strawberry page or a pink page, right? That's a colour glue book page, and that will all make sense as we do those pages on camera. But yeah, so he was in a place called Market Harbour, if you're not from the UK, which isn't, you know, it's about 40 minutes on a probably clear run. But, you know, we were there for 4 days of the week when he's in hospital. And it's been a challenging 6 years for us. But we used to then, you know, start the day off with a coffee on the road every day while we were visiting, while he was there for 2 weeks. And then my mum, who, bless her soul, passed away in August last year. Not sure if I've mentioned that. She had vascular dementia for 5 to 6 years, and then she was in hospital quite a lot in our local hospital. And again, you know, long days, an early start sometimes, so we'd be there after work and visiting, and you know, so then the caffeine continued, and here I am still on the caffeine. It's not great for me, I shouldn't be having it really, but it's just something that I actually now enjoy drinking. Oh, that's a lovely cat. I don't know why I'm just flashing it at the camera. I'm going to use that cat, and I'm going to fussy cut that cat out. Yeah, so that's how my Costa addiction has come into place. And I've tried, love those, beautiful. I've tried to come off them, but you know, it's one day. You know, I'll be off. I won't have one for one day and then I'll go back onto it, because I do enjoy the flavour of it now. And I'm not a coffee drinker, but I wasn't a coffee drinker. Now I am a bit of a coffee drinker. I think I'm going to hold on to this image here. This is quite a cool image. I like that image. Huh. So, yes. Okay, so what other images we've got? So like I said, these are from the Gardener's World magazine, which I showed you in my previous video. Why did I pull this page out? Sometimes you rip out pages out of magazines and you can't remember why you did it, especially if it's the next day, right? So I think I liked this part here, the fact that he's holding a rose. Am I going to use that? I really don't know, but anyways, I could use that as my background page, couldn't I, really, if I chose not to use it as a focal point or anything like that. So we could do that. It's pretty cool, I guess. And isn't it funny, once you start disassembling a magazine and you start cutting out the images, they look so much different to what they did. They obviously look like mini pieces of art to me. Once they are out of the magazine. So, you know, and as I said previously, that's a beautiful page, right? So that'll be a great background page to use, and then you can use that one if you want to. So there is a choice, right? So we can make that choice nearer the time. We don't have to make any decisions right now. What's on the back of this? Oh my gosh, I do like that. I think I like that better. Yeah. So yeah, and so that I found this process of magazine harvesting, selecting images, to be really creative in more ways than one. So it's really opened up my eyes to you know, to colors and images and compositions and all the rest of it. Considering I'm an artist already, so I'm a resin and mixed media artist, I might just keep hold of that. Look at this beautiful image here, folks. That looks AI to me, but it's beautiful. It's the Eden Project, which I have been to. And if you're in the UK, or if you're coming to the UK for a holiday, I would say to you, if you love like botanicals, I'd definitely visit the Eden Project. Obviously there's a charge to access it, but it is so worth it, really worth it. And that's beautiful. I love that. What would I use that image for? Again, I could use it for a multicolored glue book page, or vibrant colored glue book page, or I could use it onto I could just make it all about the Eden Project, really, couldn't I? Or I could add it onto my Secret Garden glue book pages, right? And I know I've got another one coming up here somewhere. Oh, I love that light bulb. That is so cool. I didn't see that. Right, okay. So I can either use that, I've fussy cut that, but I really don't want to. So just for a change, I'm going to actually go for this light bulb here. That's so cool. I'm going to fussy cut that out, right? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Or we can add it in. So I'll decide near the time. Light bulb moment, I like that. So let's take that. So yeah, so don't forget to look out for words and fonts, because you can get some right gems in here. You see, even if I'm using a paper cutter, but I still can't cut straight to save my life, even with a tool. Anyways, it happens. So light bulb moment, so that'll be good. I could use that as a background, so I can still hold on to that. That'd be quite cool. So I'm just gonna make sure that we don't go way over time. I don't mind going over time when we're doing a creating video, but we are just going through images, and I'm just explaining why and for what purpose I'm going to be using them. Oh, okay. So there's a caterpillar here on here, which I could use. So that's pretty cool. That's on the back. So I have an option. I could use that as a background page or a space filler. Do I want to use him? I could cut him up and use that yeah, we could use that. Don't want that. What else do we have? Let's have a look. Okay, got something here which is cool. So let's do that. So when I pull magazines out, what I do is I will sometimes I do it. It depends on my mood, really, to be honest. But I will pull off the front cover of the magazine and then start going through the pages. And the reason I do that is because the pages just come out so nicely. It's like butter. So, and I'll show you when we do another magazine harvest video. Look at that lovely bee. So yeah, so I'll do it like that, and then sometimes I'll just go in with a Stanley knife and pull out the images that way, because I want them to be coming out clean. Oh, look at this lovely hedgehog. So yeah, so that's the way I do it. I've seen people do it in different ways, which is fabulous, because we can all use each other's techniques as well. A little froggy here. So he'll be a background page, and I want this wooden box has bird box to add in to one of my secret garden pages, and I want to cut it out, fussy cut it out actually, because that will look cool, and you'll see that when I do the page. So that's cool. Add on to that. Just bear with me. Oh, I've got a tea warmer on here, a tea and coffee warmer, so I'm just going to put my cup on there. Do you know what? Because I've got so much stuff here, I can't even see my timer. Right, so yeah, so sometimes I use my timer for my videos, so depending on the video content. So I'm not using too much time. And obviously the storage issues as well, right? So when you're filming for YouTube, I've mentioned this before, you know, you're always going to have to, well, I delete my videos as soon as they've uploaded onto YouTube anyway, because they're filed away, obviously, in that format. I love this. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to hold on to the description. Astrantias. Beautiful. But I love these images. Would I fussy cut that? No, I definitely would not fussy cut that, but I'd add that to a page. And that is not cut straight, so I'm going to straighten that out. But isn't that beautiful? You could add that onto an ATC, so an artist trading card, if you wanted to. And then embellish it with some other fussy cuts around it. I could put a bird on there, for example, or a mushroom, or piece of fabric, or we'll be doing ATCs as well, because that's on my things to do list for videos and for myself, of course. Yeah, let's just take that off. I don't want that writing on there. Background, that one. And then yes, so yeah, so when it comes to, we're going back to videos, when it comes to creating videos, I will obviously go over 30 minutes, because creating a glue book page can sometimes take a little bit of time. And then if I pre-plan the page, then obviously it won't take as much time. But you never know, because, you know, we all change our minds, don't we? Once we've even done that process of pre-planning a art page, and then once you come to actually putting it together officially, is what I'd say, the format can change. I'm just deciding which side I want, actually. Do I want that side, or do I want that side? Haha. I think I'm going to go for this side. And yeah. So I've come across many collage artists recently, and I will write their names down. So on this page, I've cut this side out I wanted this side, but if I reverse it, I've got that as well, so I can use either side again. Yeah, so I come across some other fantastic glue book artists, and apart from the ones that I've mentioned in my previous videos, and they are amazing as well. They are so good with what they've been creating, and you know, they are very inspirational, and you know, it kind of gets you back on. So you know, because you kind of think, well, you can obviously go off track a little bit, especially when you're harvesting the images and you're just harvesting images willy-nilly and there's no purpose. So what one of my suggestions is think about the glue book or glue books that you want to create, and then you have some kind of guideline as to the images that you're actually starting to harvest from the magazines. Otherwise you could just keep going on, like I said, forever. And you know, and other ideas will materialize along the way, trust me, in terms of how to creating pages. They will, you know, ideas will show themselves as you're creating and going through images as well. So lots of you can see I've got lots of kind of, well, it is from a Gardener's World magazine, so there's going to be a lot of gardening stuff in here, right? So no shock or surprise there, right? That's beautiful, isn't it? And that is stunning. Oh, with the water, can you see that, folks? Yeah. So we will be stopping shortly because we've got 8 minutes according to my stopwatch, and if we run over by 5 minutes, that's fine, but just kind of to let you know that it's not a long video, so do stick with me, so you can still watch me in the process of cutting up the images and the selection process. Beautiful garden, right? So this trap obviously is on the back of this, and I want to keep him, so I'm going to take him. So he popped up from nowhere, right? So I like that, so I will be taking him and not the other side. So you do have to choose your images, and if you've got plenty of, in my case, botanical images, then I'm going to obviously choose the images that I don't have many of, and I don't have a flying man. Alright, so, and I can, if I change my mind, I can always reverse it and use the back of that anyway. Not a big deal, right? And I've got this. So I will take that, because that's a nice little piece to add in. So that was on the back of that piece. And then I just still have the rest of this anyway. So there's you know, you don't have to, it's not a painful decision because you still have choices. Right, so let's do that. So what's everybody been up to? What you all been creating? If you've, oh, see, that happens. So I wasn't very good at that. So I put the image in at an angle on my slicer, and it cut at an angle as well. So take your time. Got distracted. Anyway, so what has everybody been doing? What have you been creating? Have you been creating? What have you been doing? You know, spring's not too far away, right? So we're looking forward to that. The days are getting lighter, so that will give everybody more time in the day. And now I don't want Monty, I just want the dog, his lovely dog. So I will be potentially, I could keep him to add on to, because he is part of Gardener's World magazine. Yeah, I will. I think I will keep him actually. It's quite a crisp image. I could add him. He could be popping up somewhere in my secret garden book, couldn't he? Yes, that would definitely fussy cutting that. Gorgeous dog. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So I'm going to be cutting this dog out, and that's not too bad to fussy cut out, if you can see that. Okay, so what else do we have, folks? How do you say? I like that. So I like that. I'm going to take that and dispose of the rest. Okay, and you know, with your scraps like this massive scrap here, you can just use that as a to glue your images down onto, so you use glue stick on there really, if that makes sense, because people get confused with glue book page and glue booking, if that makes any sense. Have your say. Let's have a look. Okay, why did I take this? I wanted these smaller images, so we could use a stamp punch on that. So I showed you the stamp punch in the other video. We used it to create our page with, and then I've created templates, so I could easily, you know, use the stamp punch on here, if you can see, and we can pull these out. So that'd be quite cool. So I will take those. Yep, let's take those. Let's take those strips. And if I don't do that, then I can just use the whole strip, right, as a background filler as well. So not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Because we all change our minds. We're entitled to change our minds as well. You know. So the other thing is that, you know, I've been feeling that when I've been harvesting off camera, I kind of think, well, gosh, I should be creating. But what I've realised also is that when I have kind of started creating off camera and putting things together, that I need more images again. So it's kind of a bit of a vicious circle. I love that. I might fussy cut that actually. Can you see that, guys? Can you see that? Okay. So yeah, so it is, you do need to have a collection of images for sure. I love those. Look at those squares. I was thinking of using my hole punch on that. All right, but I like that as well. But can you see on this image here? If you can see on this image here, you can see there's numbers on here. You can disguise them though. So I'm just thinking of how to do this. This will probably be my last one, folks, because it looks like my camera is having a bit of a wobble. It keeps coming up with pop-up messages. Like I said, always look on the back. So I don't want that, but I do want these, and I do want these. So I'll take those out. So yes. So yeah, do, you know, make sure, if you like, no pressure, that you know, comment down below. But you can, you know, comment on the video, you can comment on whatever you want to really. But it will be nice to know that people are watching the videos. You know, you could put down what you'd like to see next, or which magazine you're interested in harvesting. So you've got a choice, right? Well, of course you've got a choice, but you can, you know, it would just be nice to kind of hear that somebody's watching the videos. It gives me an idea that people are watching the videos. Okay, guys, so I think I am going to stop, even though I can't stop. Look at this image here, folks. Love this illustration. Okay, that will be my last image, I think, and then there might be something on the back. So I'm going to cut this illustration image out, and they're always good to have in glue books, right? If you can see that. That's fabulous. Fabulous here. There's nothing on the back. I'm just checking, folks. Just checking. So let's grab that. And just tidy that up a little bit. Look at that. Isn't that the coolest thing, right? I love that little bird there. I'm going to trim off a little bit more. Gosh, I'm so not trimming straight, honestly. So not trimming straight, but look at that. Love it. What was on? Okay, this will be the last image, I promise, I promise. I promise it will. I'll probably hold on to that. So beautiful, beautiful homage to finish off with. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to just use this. Oh yeah, my timer is going off to let me know. It's the volume is quite low, so you can't hear it yourself, hopefully. And keep that word as well. Scent special. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed this short video. Oh, let me just show you this. Look at these little froggies in here, right? And look at these little poglets. They're so cute. Yes, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and like the video. Oh yes, before I do disappear, look, see, I'm getting so excited. Look at these beauties. So I'll be fussing cutting those. So yeah, so don't forget to comment, subscribe and like the video, and I will see you all in my next video. Take care, bye.